Should I insure and service my gun? Welcome back to the shooting channel, and welcome back to a video that I've been meaning to do for ages and ages and ages, because we've had customers coming in that have had bits and pieces wrong with them, broken stocks, things like that. And the answer is your gun insured? You insure your car, you insure and service your car. Why don't you think about insuring your gun? So, I've got this Beretta Silver Pigeon. You've gone and paid £1,500 to £1,800 for it. If you take that out, okay, yes, a lot of manufacturers now will insure stocks. But if you drop this, or if it's a really cold day, these stocks can crack very easily, and they won't be covered by the manufacturer's warranty. Manufacturer's warranty will be covered by something that will break because of the gun's fault. If it gets really cold, or if the gun falls over, that is not covered by the manufacturer's warranty. A gun stock or a forend is possibly the easiest thing to break on a gun. I mean, I've got a Beretta here, I've got a Browning, I've got a Yieldits Pro, I've got a Blaser F16, and I've got a Fausti. One of these stocks, the gun, if a Browning 525 and a Beretta Silver Pigeon, roughly £1,500 to £1,800, depending where you buy it from. If you break a stock on that gun, it will probably cost you £500 to £700, depending what gun it is. It might even cost you, if it's a Blaser or something like that, or a Krieghoff or something, or a side-by-side, it will probably cost you £1,000. Now, to me, that is nearly the value, especially when you're looking at the grade 1 stuff, that is nearly the value of the gun. So, if you don't have this insured, it wouldn't be worth doing it, because you can spend another £500, £600, and you get another gun. So, the most important thing when you buy your gun is to insure it. And I'm going to be completely honest, the NFU is probably the best insurance company. They may charge you a little bit more, but they're the best insurance company that you will insure your gun with. Because they may be more expensive, but they are used to farmers, to shooters, to country folk. Your normal insurance company, household insurance company, will do it, but you need to make sure that they understand it is a gun and they understand the value of that gun. Because when you come to break that, if you do break it, they will say, oh, well, what was it doing? Or what were you doing with it? And they don't understand that wood is a very, very, very brittle piece of a kit. Even an air rifle, wood can break. You can get a hairpin crack in the forend there, especially on some of the side-by-sides. They are very thin there. And some of the game guns, they are thin. So make sure you inquire about insuring it. Okay, you can talk to BASC. I'm going to be honest, don't bother with the CPSA. It's not a great insurance side of it. BASC is probably a better one for you to insure your gun with, or insure your shooting with. You need to check with and make sure that they do cover for woodwork, for things like that. Again, the metal work, you might get accidentally, you might have something jammed down the barrel. You might blow the end of the gun off or something like that. That will all be covered by your insurance company. So it is well and worth looking at it. Has anyone had a problem with any insurance companies with guns? Please comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on what you think about insuring guns. Now, the other thing about my pet hate is about servicing guns. Now, if you buy a car, you will service that car once a year, because the brakes might need looking at, the lights, little bits and pieces. Now, that is the same as a gun. So you want to service your gun at least once a year, depending how much you shoot it. When I was shooting very competitively, I was probably shooting 50,000 shells a year. If you're up to that sort of range of 40 to 50,000 shells a year, you will probably want to service it twice. If you just shoot a couple of times a week, once a year is fine. And what they tend to do, if I take this one apart, The bits that will go on them is the top lever spring, the firing pins. The firing pins will go. So if you come in and you suddenly say, oh, my firing pin's broken, they will go. A lot of guns will only, if you shoot them a lot, the firing pins might not last a year. You might be lucky, they might last a year. But that's the sort of things that go. They tend to take all this off. The ejectors in here, they'll take them out, they'll clean them up, they'll give it a good polish, a good clean. They'll take out all the ejectors, they'll clean them up, they'll put you new firing pins in. If the other thing that does tend to go on them is the top lever spring. Now you can tell if your top lever spring, this one's obviously under tension quite a lot. If that is really soft, then that is, you will tell whether that's going or not. So that needs to be fairly tight. So I will look at, so this particular one is actually one of the demo guns of Oxford Gun Company. That is a lot looser than this new Silver Pigeon Beretta. On a normal run-the-mill gun, a Browning, Beretta, Yield It, a service is about, at any decent gunsmith, again, don't try and do it yourself, you've got to look at a proper gunsmith. I would personally go to your local shooting school. They will have a decent gunsmith that will work alongside them or with them, because generally they will service their school guns 2 or 3 times a year, so they want a decent gunsmith. So if you're going to service your gun, go to your local shooting school and they will put you in touch with a proper gunsmith. Whereas a gun shop, they don't necessarily have to put every single gun through there. So that is the way I would find. If you can't find a decent gunsmith, look at your local shooting school. The brand that I think is actually very good, and again, I wouldn't bother doing this if you're just looking at a Silver Pigeon or a Browning 525 or possibly a Yield It, most decent gunsmiths can service them. If you buy something like a Blaser or Krieghoff or Perazzi, the one thing that I do like about Blasers is if you buy a Blaser and you service it, it costs you a little bit more money, but you send it back to Blaser and they will give you a service history. Now, as far as I know, they're about the only manufacturer that actually does that. I don't know why they do it, because their guns start at kind of $3.5, $4 and go up. But I think that's a really, really good way of a gun manufacturer, a more expensive gun. Now, Browning, Beretta, Yield It, they're slightly cheaper, so I don't expect that. But with the more expensive guns, if you can get a service history, when you come to sell that gun, it won't necessarily make the gun worth more money, but it will help you sell that gun because they'll know that it is being serviced once a year from Blaser. Comment below, do you agree with servicing a gun once a year? And do you agree with, if you use it a lot, an Olympic trap shooter or a skeet shooter, and you're shooting 50,000 shells a couple of times a year? Comment below, have you had anything go wrong on a competition? Let's see your thoughts on servicing guns and insuring guns. 2 topics there that I feel has to get out. You've got to service your gun and you've got to insure your gun. If you want any information about servicing or insuring your gun, please comment below, or please email contact us at theshootingchannel.co.uk, and Alex and myself will do our best to answer your questions or point you in the right direction to get your gun looked after professionally and properly. I hope you've enjoyed this programme. Please don't forget, we're at IWA and the Shooting Show, and February we've got the Shooting Channel Championships. I hope you've enjoyed this programme. Please like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram. Don't forget, join the membership for as little as $2.99 a month, and please hit that subscribe button. It really helps us to give you content like this. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.